Hello, and welcome to A Sound Constitution here on CHLY 101.7 FM, a show where we focus on health topics important to our community. This year's team is made of 8 third-year BIU nursing students. Our goal is to demystify health issues and address common misconceptions by sharing evidence-informed information from a variety of reliable resources. All information provided on our show will be available on our show notes on our Facebook and Instagram pages. We want to remind our listeners that the information presented is for educational purposes only and does not replace the advice of your primary healthcare professional. If you have any questions or concerns about what's being discussed, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook at A Sound Constitution, Instagram at CHLY A Sound Constitution, this is all one word, or at Twitter at ASC_VIU, or you can email us at asoundconstitution@gmail.com. We would like to start our show by acknowledging that we are on the unceded territory of the Nanaimo people, with a broadcasting range that overlaps the Coquitlam and Sliamon territories. This acknowledgement is done with the gratitude to the Nanaimo people and with the intention to increase awareness about truth and reconciliation processes and efforts on Vancouver Island. Additional information and resources surrounding the Nanaimo history, reconciliation, protocol, and land acknowledgement can be found on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and welcome to a new season of A Sound Constitution here on CHLY. Today I'm here with McKenna, Kiana, and Karis, and we will be your hosts for this season.
So for our first segment today, we're going to do a little introduction on ourselves. So we're going to ask each other a couple questions, a little bit interview style. So the first question is, what brought you into nursing? And we'll start with Karis.
Hi, I'm Karis. So I always thought I was going to be an accountant. Ever since I was little, my mom told me I should go into healthcare, but it was the last thing that I thought I would do. Accounting didn't really work out, and my mom told me to go into the care aid course. I did that and fell absolutely in love with healthcare. I knew I wanted to learn more about it, so nursing became my next goal. And I couldn't be more happy because I found exactly where I wanted to be.
And next up, we have Kiana.
Hi, I'm Kiana. I was brought into nursing. I guess my inspiration is my grandmother. She was a nurse, and she absolutely loved it. She worked with the elderly population, and she would always just tell me her stories, so I guess that's my main inspiration. I was never good at science and math, though, so I never thought I'd do nursing, but here I am, and I love it.
And now we have Lauren.
Alright, so I never wanted to be a nurse, and everybody told me I should go into nursing, but I was pretty stubborn, so I went into school to do something else, and I did not feel connected to what I was doing, and I thought that I wanted a career where I would feel as though I was directly making an impact, so I thought about it long and hard and switched into nursing, and now I feel very connected to my work, and I'm so glad I made the switch.
And lastly is me. Hi, I'm McKenna, and so I actually have had 4 different majors. So my first major was biochemistry, and I didn't feel connected to that, similarly to Lauren. And then I was actually going to do a dual major in painting and biology, so I had an interest in biomedical illustration. My love for medical stuff has always been there, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And anyways, my grandma was a nurse, and she always told me that she thought I'd be a good nurse, and so I kind of just decided to try it, because at this point I'd already had 3 different majors, so why not try another? But anyways, I'm super happy I made the switch.
Alright, our next question is, if you weren't in nursing school right now, what do you think you'd be doing? And we'll start with Karis again.
If I wasn't in nursing school, something maybe with child and youth, or I always wanted to be an assistant of some sort, so maybe like a medical assistant.
Next up, we have Kiana.
Okay, if I wasn't in nursing school, I think I'd be a wedding planner or a race car driver, hopefully in Europe. I think it's just my obsession with romantic comedies. I watch one every night, so yes, I'd be a wedding planner.
Fair enough. Alright, and McKenna.
I've always wanted to do preschool. I taught it briefly for half a session, and I really enjoyed it.
Alright, and lastly, if I wasn't in nursing, I think that I would want to be a kindergarten teacher, because I think I thrive in organized chaos. Alright, our next question is about what kind of nursing we want to get into after we graduate. So we'll start with McKenna.
So I really enjoyed my surgical rotations, but I'm actually a ESN, which means I'm an employed student nurse on the palliative floor, and I really, really enjoy that. I think being there with the families and making someone's end of life comfortable is so, so important. but I also have a desire to eventually become a nurse practitioner, and if it was an option to become a palliative nurse practitioner, I feel like that would be my jam. So
That's cool.
That's cool.
I feel like
neat.
that's not an avenue that many people want to go down. So that's pretty sweet.
I feel like a unit like that, though, prepares you for so many different units because you're really emphasizing those communication skills.
Right.
Definitely.
Karis, where do you think you'll end up?
I'm not super sure what avenue of nursing I want to end up in. I like this program because they give us the opportunity to try a ton of different places, and every clinical placement I go to, I decide this is the one, and then we try a new one, and I like that. But I do have a passion for women's health and like sexual health, so I think maybe going down that avenue. I also really like pediatrics too, working with kids and kind of having that communication piece with the family members. I think it'd be like another really beneficial area of working, so pediatrics could be another place, but I'm still not 100% sure.
I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel the same way. Wherever I go, I'm like, ooh, this is cool, or I like this, but haven't really made a decision yet.
Yeah, I agree. With every single placement, I change my mind. Like I said, a good problem to have. But at the end of the day, I think I like working in with like addictions, that population, and perhaps doing some kind of outreach nursing or something along those lines. But we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That is a cool area.
Okay, so now we're just going to talk about our favorite things to do in Nanaimo. Who wants to start us off?
I can start. So I'm from Alberta in the mountains, so I definitely didn't grow up near the ocean. So the ocean is kind of a novelty for me. So I think my favorite thing to do is walk the waterfront and look at the boats. And in the summer, I really enjoy swimming.
That's awesome. I agree. I love swimming once the weather's nice. That's my favorite, being by a body of water, 100%. And there's tons of like trails and cool areas, lookouts and stuff to go and find. So I like to be out in the nature as much as I can when the weather's nice, because it does tend to get a little bit rainy here. But outside, you definitely have a beautiful backyard.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I like spending my time outside. I've recently gotten into golf, and that's one of my favorite things to do here. And then like Lauren, I like going out and swimming and going for walks and hikes. There's lots of outdoorsy stuff to do here. I mean, that is the majority of what you can do here, so...
Yes, I'm going to say the sunsets are very nice here,
That is
so that's
true.
like my favorite thing to catch. And also swimming. I love swimming.
Yeah. I love a good sunset at like Neck Point.
That's a good one.
That is a good spot.
See some seals.
We do have
The otters.
Oh my gosh, otters are really cute.
Our next question, we're going to talk a little bit about what our favorite hobbies are. Who'd like to start?
I can start us off. I love baking cookies. Usually during exam seasons, I'll be whipping up batches for my roommates. So I don't know if that's a hobby, but I'd say baking.
That's a good one.
I would say my most recent hobby is crocheting. I am probably the lamest 21-year-old out there because it's my new passion.
I love it.
I like drawing. I doodle a lot, and I like painting, but I haven't been able to paint as much because we live in a small suite, so I don't want to get my paint everywhere, and also we're renting, so I'm a little bit messy sometimes, so it's not a super great thing, but other than that, I also like baking. I make a mean cinnamon bun.
Oh, those are hard to make, so good for
Cream cheese
you. Ooh, that's the good stuff. I think for me, with nursing school, it's kind of hard. Like, I feel like this is my main focus, and I usually like to read, but because we're reading so many readings, I kind of take a break from that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm not a huge hobby girl when it comes to semesters. It's hard to get those to work into the schedule. So right now, I can't think of too many.
All good. School's already a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. My main hobby, my main focus. Gotta get it.
This is Lauren with a fact break. Did you know that in Canada, nearly half of nurses work outside of the hospital setting? Many people believe that most nurses work in the hospital, and while this is technically true, nearly 45% of nurses work outside of these hospitals. So what do these nurses do? Well, just under 14% work in community placements such as public health, schools, or outreach nursing. 13% of nurses work in long-term care and assisted living facilities. and the other 7% is described as other, and this includes sales, nursing educator, or nursing informatics, to name a few.
So our next question is, what is your favorite part of nursing?
I can start. I think for me, I love the fact that we'll always be learning. Like every time you walk onto a floor, you'll be learning something new that day. You do a lot of the similar stuff throughout the day, but it's never going to be the exact same day every single time you walk onto a shift. So I really like that part of it. And it's just, the constant learning is always super fun.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say similar to Karis. I really like that every day you don't know what you're going to expect because it could be something crazy or, a nice chill day. And the learning, definitely every day I'm learning something new.
Nice. My favorite part is probably that, along with the learning, is that there's so many opportunities to learn and move around. So like in 5 years, if I wasn't fulfilled with my job anymore, there's endless opportunities for lateral movement.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So one thing I love about nursing is the fact that you get to make connections. And so I get to connect with my patients, my patients' families. And you get to make them feel better. And you get to support them. And I really love that, the interconnection aspect. So my next question for you guys is, what is your least favorite thing about nursing?
I think that it's a tough question to ask, but I think for me, because I really enjoy my sleep, the early mornings and the long shifts and the extra overtime and all that stuff, I think it's a little bit wearing, but there's too many goods for the job, so there's not too many bads.
Fair enough.
Okay. I was going to say the same thing because I struggle waking up in the morning. But I guess it's a lame answer, but I would say the stairs in the hospital are quite a workout, and then I get to the floor out of breath, so that's probably one of my least favorite things.
Along with the early mornings, because who likes those? I think sometimes at the end of the day, you go home wishing that you could have done more. Well, there's a lot you can do. You can't do it all, so maybe that.
Yeah, that's really tough. For me, I personally have a phobia of spit. We do our best. If a patient needs to spit or is having a spit issue, I'll do it. But it's just really hard for me, and that's something I have to work on. So
definitely, that sputum collection.
Everybody has their phobia. For me, I think it's vomit.
Yeah, that's another
that's
one.
hard.
Or like bones kind of cracking. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, no orthopedics for you.
No, thank you.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're going to talk now about our coolest skill we've done in nursing, or I guess our most favorite skill.
I can go first. It's not particularly interesting, but I think I'm pretty good at catheters. I can get them in pretty quick, and I've never had to redo one, so...
Dang, that's a flex.
That's a flex.
That is a flex. Big flex.
I think that mine would be IV insertions. It's kind of like a little challenge. Until you get one that's kind of challenging, and then I like to run away from that.
Yeah, then you're like, that one's not for me.
No, that one's not for me. Somebody else try it. But it's kind of fun, and it's satisfying when you get the flashback of the blood.
Hey, that's a flex.
That's big flex. I think for me, it wasn't necessarily a skill, but just being in the OR was super, super cool.
For me, I liked being in the NICU and just like seeing the babies and holding the babies.
Yeah.
And putting on their very, very tiny diapers.
It's like a whole nother world in the NICU. I give mad props to everyone that works with those little humans.
Mm-hmm. Everything is miniature. Like the little blood pressure cuffs, adorable.
So small. So small.
For context, it looks like a Band-Aid. Like, it's so tiny.
And their tiny hands.
So cute. All right, our next question is that nursing school is known to be quite heavy workload. So our question is, how do you balance school with the rest of your life?
I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at it. I worked, I think, 24 hours last week, and then I had 4 days of classes. I had Sunday off, but on Sunday, I was a wreck. I was so tired. I was crying over everything. Like, don't do this. Like, you need self-care. I need self-care. And so, like, kind of trying to find the balance of, like, I'm going to take a bath today for myself. I'm going to turn off my phone. I'm going to read a book. And making sure you make that time for yourself is so important. Do not be like me. I repeat, if you think about going into nursing, you cannot do this because it's such a mentally exhausting field. Like, it's such hard work. Like, you're constantly trying to help people and you're in difficult situations. situations, you need to learn how to do self-care. And I'm still in the process of that.
Yeah,
so.
This is not an advice show. This is not
But I couldn't agree more with the self-care because it really is beneficial. And these days are long. You've got long nights. You feel anxious or you're not sleeping well. You're trying to work being an ESN and get sort of like your hands-on skills as well, but then you're also doing a lot of classwork, a lot of group work, which you really need to get your group norms and what your expectations are and everything done and solidified in order for it to roll smoothly. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned because I'm a big chiller. Like, I'll just be like, yeah, whatever needs to happen, it'll happen kind of thing. But that was a big thing where conflict kind of arises. So
that is good advice.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Yeah, not an advice podcast, but, just a bit.
For me, it's hard to stay organized in nursing school. Well, for me, I'm a big procrastinator. I will leave things to the last minute. What I have learned, here's my tip for everyone, is do not procrastinate because it backfires in the end. So now I have more time, now that I don't procrastinate, to go on walks and get that self-care, McKenna.
Nice. I definitely agree with the self-care aspect. I think there's a really big learning curve with nursing school, and I think my biggest thing would be learning what you need to prioritize. Like in first year, I would spend so much time on my readings, which I learned perhaps wasn't the best way to learn for me. So since then, I've kind of reorganized the way I go about my work, and I definitely have more time now for that. And then again, the self-care aspect is huge. You think you don't have time to do things, but you really do, because I used to be like, I'm so stressed, now I'm going to scroll on TikTok for an hour. I have so much to do.
Exactly.
But just kind of moving that out. Not that I still don't do that. But maybe just moving that hour somewhere else and then actually doing something that kind of feels more restful.
Right.
All right. Our next question is, tell me something that most people don't know about you. Who wants to start?
I can start. I have dual citizenship. So I was born in the States, in North Carolina, and I was adopted to my birth parents, and I've been in Nanaimo ever since I can remember. So my parents were awesome and got us dual citizenship so I could take my nursing to the States if I wanted to.
Nice. That's cool. They were thinking right from the start.
Thinking, for sure.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact for me, too. One fun fact about me is really obscure, but I have a giant plastic toad. It sounds nuts, but it sits in the back of my car. Its name is Road Toad, and it's been in my car since I moved to Nanaimo 3 years ago, and I call him Road Toad. And it's literally just a toad that I take on the road, and I have no idea why he's there. My friend bought it for me way back when, and it just hasn't left yet, so...
He's honestly a part of the family at this point.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, that got me thinking. My fun fact is, my roommate always says this. She's like, you're crazy. I can memorize license plates. I think it comes back when I was a kid, and my dad would be like, what is that number? What is that license plate? Whenever someone would cut him off. So that's my fun fact.
Love it.
That's a talent. Does it carry over anywhere else or just license plates?
Just license plates, because it's only 6 little digits, so that's all really
couple letters, yeah, you're good.
I'm impressed. I can't even remember my own license plate. I've had my car with these plates for 3 years, and I have a picture of it favorited on my phone.
I'll get all yours down the semester. Don't you
watch out.
I'm not getting away with anything. My fun fact is kind of not that fun of a fact. It's that I have choked and received the Heimlich 3 separate times. I feel like most people can get through their whole life without needing that, but not me. So I'm a stickler for chopping up grapes really small.
For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to A Sound Constitution, 101.7 FM. I'm McKenna, and today I'm joined with Lauren, Karis, and Kiana, and we're discussing our experiences as a BYU nursing student. Stay tuned for more. So another thing that's really important for nurses is not taking home your work, because obviously we see a lot of traumatic stuff at work. So my question for you guys is, how do you deal with this?
I can start with this one. Obviously, nursing burnout is a really hot topic in the media right now, especially after COVID and everything. And we do see a lot of things that are challenging. So a strategy that we have in school is that after every day, our clinical group we'll meet, and that's kind of just a really good opportunity to talk about your day and talk about if you had any challenging situations and how you're feeling about it. And it's just a really supportive environment. The nursing community and the nursing student community, I guess you don't really understand it till you're in it. Mm-hmm. So having that kind of support group is really important.
Totally. Yeah. And I think also with the teachers, they do a really good job of reaching out and giving us contact information if we need to go a little step further and talk with them a bit more, as well as your nurses on the floor. They have tons of resources, lots of them. Like I know when I was on the IPU, like with mental health and everything, they have hotlines and that sort of thing that you can access to debrief further if need be, but definitely utilizing those resources of your nurses and other faculty members and stuff like that is good. And just to talk about it, like it might not be one time, you might need to talk about it 5 times, but just making sure you're taking care of yourself is important.
Mm-hmm. Similar to what Lauren and Kara said, I appreciate how much the teachers really look after us, and they care a lot about how we're feeling. I get it because they went through nursing school, and so they probably understand it. And yeah, praxis is a great way to debrief about your day.
Yeah, not to circle back to the self-care thing, but I think that's really important, just making sure you're taking the time to actually process what happened instead of just stuffing it in a little box and throwing it out the window.
Guilty.
Yeah, me too. It's really easy just to go cry in your car for a bit and say you're good, but you actually sometimes need to talk about it, and making sure you do that, as well as respecting confidentiality when talking about it. But
I also think it's just really important to recognize that you can't be you can't provide the best care for your patients if you're not taking care of yourself. So just really dealing with these things as they come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself.
So for our next question, I want to ask you guys, where's somewhere that you want to go? Where's somewhere that you want to travel to?
I grew up skiing in Jasper, and I love going to new ski hills. So I think one day I would love to go skiing in Europe, like the Swiss Alps, but we'll see.
That would be very nice. I've always wanted to see a safari, so maybe just somewhere in Africa. That's super cool.
Yeah, actually, that's on my bucket list as well. It was so fun. Mm-hmm. I think one of my big things that I want to do is I want to visit Southern Asia, and I want to do a big backpacking trip.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be really different to experience that type of culture. I've been to Europe before, but it's pretty
similar.
Same, kind of similar idea, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just so different.
Different world.
Yeah, completely different world in Southern Asia. So I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool. And the safari would be cool too.
I want to see a giraffe.
Yeah.
I was thinking zebra.
Yeah. I want to see elephants.
They're all great animals.
Yeah, not to discriminate against one.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, the only safari that I've ever seen is that one in Disneyland or Disney World where you go into the animal kingdom. Yeah, cool. It's pretty tight, but not the same. No. I think for me, though, my grandpa, he always wanted to go to Rio de Janeiro, so that is one place that I definitely want to get to and explore it for him.
Mm-hmm. That's lovely.
Very nice.
All right, and since our goal is to connect with the community on this show, we thought we'd each share a resource that people might not know about in the community of Nanaimo.
That's awesome. I want to talk a little bit about at Brooks Landing, there's a Central Island Access Service. So this provides crisis response and counseling, emergency services, and connects to mental health and substance use, hospital and community treatment, as well as recovery services for all age groups. So they have a walk-in crisis counseling clinic. So if you don't need a referral or anything like that, you are able to walk into those ones. And then there is also a crisis response team service as well.
Okay, I'm going to talk about an organization called Loaves and Fishes. Loaves and Fishes is a community food bank located in Nanaimo. They have different types of programs, for example, Food for You Food Recovery Program. This is where they partner with grocery stores by taking any excess food off of their hands. They then use that food for their food banks, and any food that does not meet the quality standards is given to farmers. They are an awesome independent charity that makes food accessible for everyone.
And then I will talk about the Options for Sexual Health Clinic here in Nanaimo, and they offer very confidential, non-judgmental services such as screening, STI testing, and provide low-cost access to birth control, and they're sex-positive, pro-choice. It's a really safe LGBTQ plus community. So yeah. And all of these resources will be listed in our show notes on Instagram and Facebook pages if you want to check them out.
Okay, guys, let's talk about what's one thing you wish you knew before you came into nursing school.
I can start. I think for me, it was a big scare. So coming into nursing school seemed so scary. Like you weren't going to be able to do it. Only the select few get in, and it's this crazy thing. But it is a lot of work, and you are consistently doing lots of work. Like, I don't want anyone to think that you're going to come into this and not put in hours, because you're putting in hours. But it's doable. You can do it, and if you put in the hard work and you make it a point to be there and contribute and participate, it's doable for sure. So it's not as scary as they say when you're putting in your Casper test and doing all that stuff. Like, you'll make it. You can do it. Just work hard.
Yeah, to build on that, I think that just really knowing that everybody does want you to succeed. It kind of can feel like the world is against you. And, it's not easy being a nursing student in the big hospital. You feel like you're stepping on everybody's toes. You totally feel like you're in the way. But the hospital is very receptive to you if you just ask questions and you're eager to learn.
And be there and be present, because it seems kind of scary, but if you put your foot forward and you want to learn and the nurses see that, they will take you under your wing, because you are an asset to them. You're an extra set of hands. You're learning this stuff firsthand, so you've got all of the information right at the front of your brain. Like, you're an asset, so don't feel like you aren't, but you definitely got to be there to participate.
It is scary going up to the nurse in the morning and say, hi.
But they appreciate us.
They do.
They love answering questions, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think to build on that even further, just like making sure you're participating. It's really hard sometimes in a large classroom setting to actually want to give your input, but I think that's one of the best ways to consolidate your learning is like when you're actually talking about it and like thinking about it. And not just, I'm bad for zoning out and going and playing solitaire. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, like a long patho class is really hard. But when you actively are like engaged and trying to discuss it, like chops off hours of your studying time because that information's already like stuck in your head. So
definitely. And like teaching someone else too, kind of going off what really McKenna said, like you have that information and being able to simplify it and teach it to somebody else, and you have that stuff solid. So definitely, talking about it and just being present and participating, even though it seems so scary, it's totally worth it, and everybody's in the same boat as you.
And even talking about teaching other people, nursing, a huge part of it is providing patient education. So making sure you know the material enough to be able to actually teach it in a way that's simple is huge.
Yeah. So our next question is, what are some study tips that you wish you knew before coming into this program?
Okay, so my studying tip is active recall. I really like using cue cards, and then going throughout the week before the exam, I'll like continuously use my cue cards and like pace around my room and test myself. And so yes, active recall is my tip. Really helps.
That's a good one.
I think for me, it actually took me a while to learn this, but there are so many nursing resources on YouTube. So like using those resources, and they'll give you just such a good, simple explanation in like a 20-minute crash course or 10-minute crash course, and playing those before the exam, so good.
That's a good one, yeah.
One thing I like to do is, so for example, on pathophysiology, I would write down like my disease, and then I would write down what I knew beforehand, then I go back into my notes, and then I would fill up the blanks or correct whatever I wrote wrong. And I find that like kind of is like the same thing with active recall, is recalling information, and it really just gets, for whatever reason, it really got stuck in my brain, and that's how I studied for all of my like more science-y kind of nursing courses.
Right.
That's a good way, and a good layout for it too, and keeping organized with all the diseases, because you'll learn about quite a few of them. And I think for me, like YouTube was a huge one for me, and even on like Instagram and that type of stuff, there's all these little blips or like resources where they'll send you to different guides and that sort of stuff, so I really like that. As well as like pen to paper for me. Like I can't do my notes and stuff on the computer. I'm a big pen to paper. So I'll look at the PowerPoints, write those all out, and then take that information and kind of do a similar thing to McKenna, where I'll do the diseases and write what I know and then piece in what I don't have there. So, but I'm definitely paper to pen.
Me too. That's a big one.
Yeah.
A nice thing about nursing is it is pretty universal, so there are so many resources to help us out online.
Yeah, especially since it's all the North Americans are taking the NCLEX exam. It makes it pretty standardized, so we're all learning the same thing, every school.
And I was going to say, this is for studying for skills. Your classmates are such good resources. Me and my roommate make fake sim labs in our house and just practice skills with random supplies toilet paper rolls and everything like that. So that is a good tip.
That is a good idea.
We definitely had to get creative with the home setups during COVID.
For sure.
And for those of you just tuning in, a reminder that you're listening to A Sound Constitution here on CHLY 101.7. My name is Lauren, and I'm here with Karis, Kiana, and McKenna, and we're talking about our experience as VIU nursing students. All right, this is Lauren, and I am here with my friend Ethan, who happens to be a first year in the Bachelor of Science of Nursing program at VIU. So we're going to have a little chat about his experience in first year. So Ethan, tell me, what did you do before nursing school?
Well, first of all, hello everybody. Before nursing school, I was in the HCA program. And then I went right from the HCA program in the summer into nursing school in September.
All right, great. So you're already coming into nursing school with some HCA experience. And an HCA is a healthcare aide for those of you who don't know. And do you feel that this has prepared you for some of the things that we're learning in nursing school?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's been a really good experience getting to know the residents at my work and just learning, I guess, the relational practice piece of it as well, that I learned both in the HCA program and now also that we're learning in nursing.
Totally. First year is really focused on kind of learning how to build those relationships and provide that personal care. So I think coming in with that background definitely would be an advantage. So you're working throughout first year, and first year is a busy year. So how have you found balancing work with school?
I'd say self-care is really important and just prioritizing that as much as possible. So going for walks if necessary, knowing when to take time off if you need it, and then also just scheduling is also really important and just being on top of organization.
That is a very good answer. I didn't work in first year because it was quite busy, so that's very impressive. My next question for you is, what do you think you'd be doing if you weren't in nursing school?
Well, at one point, I took flying lessons when I was in high school, and I think that is still something I'd like to pursue as a hobby once I'm done nursing school, but I may have been doing something in the aviation field if I wasn't in nursing.
That is super neat. A very well-rounded individual here. I also hear that you're quite the baker.
Yeah, I used to be a lot more, but lately a bit less due to time.
Gotcha, fair enough. Nursing school is very time-consuming. Where do you think you'll find yourself after nursing school?
After nursing school, I'll probably do a couple years of med-surg.
Okay.
Just to kind of get myself acquainted with the profession. But I'm interested in doing ICU at one point. I think that would be cool. I also think community mental health might be interesting.
That would be very cool. All right, and what do you think your favorite part of first year has been?
I would say my 114 placement so far. We're at a elementary school, so it's been really nice to get to know the kids, and it's not a population I'm super familiar with, and so it's been it's been interesting to kind of gain that experience.
Right,
sure.
You're definitely more familiar with our elder population being in HCA, I suppose. And I do have one more question for you. And it's about, obviously nursing is a female-dominated profession, and the program itself is definitely female-dominated. So how have you found this?
To be honest, not really that different.
No.
I've found it's been, really in that sense quite good. Everyone is super friendly and welcoming, and so that hasn't been a problem.
I think that concludes all the questions I have for you today, Ethan. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Again, that was my friend Ethan, who is the first year nursing student at VIU.
Did you know, as of fall 2022, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program at Vancouver Island University increased its number of new students into the program from 72 to 80? This is to help combat the nursing shortage. As of July 30th, 2022, BC has 4,265 unfulfilled nursing jobs. Staffing shortages and hospital wait times are reaching crisis levels, according to the BC Nurses Union.
Hi, it's Karis, and today I'm joined with Haley, a second-year nursing student in her BSN program. How are you doing, Haley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Are you surviving?
I am surviving. I just finished my first class this morning, and I was in the lab practicing some IV medications.
Oh, there you go. I remember that. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to answer a few questions for us today. I know second year is pretty jam-packed with those new skills.
Yes, it is. And no worries. I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. So I'll just start. I've got a couple questions for you, and I'll get started with what brought you into nursing?
I would say what brought me into nursing was I was a carried for a few years before I applied into the program.
Right.
And being a carried, working around like all those LPNs, it made me want to do more than just carried skills. I wanted to be able to help my residents more, and just that's just what made me decide to go into nursing.
Definitely. I was in a similar boat too, having the carried role before, and just like more education and being able to help a bit more. It was always on my docket.
Yeah.
If you weren't in nursing school right now, what do you think you'd be doing?
I think that if I wasn't in nursing school, I definitely would be probably maybe a math teacher.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I did my first year of engineering and my first year of computer science, and those were not the best options for me, and I really enjoy math. So I think I would definitely do something in that area.
That's cool. I feel like there's not many people that want to be a math teacher, so.
Yeah, I just didn't know what I'd be able to do with math, and math was the one subject I enjoyed. So I thought maybe a math teacher.
Yeah, there you go. Now that you have a semester under your belt of year 2, what's your favorite part of second year?
I would say my favorite part of second year is definitely being in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because in first year, you don't go into the hospital at all. So, being in the hospital and being able to give like medications, like without, the teacher there, like kind of just being independent now. It's a little bit scary, but it's fun, and it's nice to be independent.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels so real now. Like you're like, oh, I can do this. I do like to do this.
Yeah, like I also get very scared, like since the teacher isn't always there, like sometimes I'm scared to just give one pill that I know it's like Tylenol, and I'm just like scared to give it though still, even though I'm alone. But yeah, it is fun.
It is definitely. And there's always that little scare, but I guess it's good to have that versus being like, oh, I can go and do this, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So switch gears a little bit. What's your favorite thing to do in Nanaimo?
My favorite thing to do in Nanaimo is I like to go for evening drives. And I like to go sit at the beach, and that's about it. I would say driving near the beach.
Definitely. We're so lucky to be so close to the water, but other than that, there's not too many fun activities to do when the weather's not nice.
There's not much to do here, so definitely stay in the car.
Exactly. And keeps your focus on school, right? There's no distractions.
Yeah.
And then a fun fact about you, Haley.
A fun fact about me is that I love working out. I guess that's kind of a fun fact.
Yeah, definitely.
I've actually, ever since being in the nursing program, I've gotten a lot healthier. Like I'm watching more what I'm eating and taking vitamins and prioritizing my own like mental health. So working out is kind of, being in the nursing program has kind of made me look holistically like at my lifestyle.
Totally. And having all that new knowledge from the program, I feel like you can apply it to your own life.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like with, especially like self-care, like in first year, they dove so deep into self-care, and you never really like think about it. You say you do self-care, but really you don't. So being aware of that my view has totally changed.
Totally. And it's such a big thing. And especially as the years continue on and when we're out of school, like self-care, they can't stress it enough. And I totally get what they mean, especially for mental health. Like it's such a big part of it. The gym too. That's all in my mental health too. It helps me feel better. It helps me like de-stress. So And then lastly, what do you plan on doing once you graduate from nursing school?
That's a tough question because I have not seen everything yet. So, initially I want to be in the OR. Yeah. I think that would be super cool. And then, also I've thought about community. Community is also very different. It's super cool too, but I think I'd like to be in the OR. Eventually I want to become a nurse practitioner. Yeah. And either open up like my own office or some sort of thing like that. And I would like to be involved in like the Indigenous community. Oh, wow. So, yeah, something along the lines of that. I'm not sure yet. So totally. And here I am coming up in 4th year and I still have no idea where I want to go. And I've seen lots of it. So it takes time. And it's really nice with this program. Like they give you the opportunity to see so many different areas. So it kind of helps you out, but it also makes it hard because it makes you want to go everywhere. Yeah. Like the semester I was on floor 5 and that was a pretty hectic floor in the hospital. There's just a lot of overflow patients. And now this semester I'm on floor 3, which is like surgical post-op, and it's so much more relaxed. And then I got to do an orientation of the endo and plastics. So I got to see some colonoscopies. I'm sure you did this too. Yeah, but it was so, it feels like such a blur. So I love reliving this with you. Yeah. So I got to see 2 colonoscopies. I got to see a gastrectomy. Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say it. And then I saw cataract surgery and then also like a mass removed from a finger. So like just seeing all those, like I know you can become like an endo nurse too. So I've already seen so many places I can be and I still have no idea. Right. It's super cool though. You don't have to pick just one, and like you can stay in it for a little bit and you can keep moving on to another spot. But endo was one of those where I was like, it kind of opened my eyes to a different area of nursing, because a lot of times you think hospital or clinic or something like that, and that's kind of the best of both worlds. No, I thought endo was like, I never thought I'd even want to be in that area, but I was really intrigued when they mentioned like that they take ESNs and stuff. Yeah. So Well, thank you again for your time today, Haley. All the best in your studies, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you out in the field. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I will be seeing you. Yes, definitely. Good luck with everything. Thank you. You too.
If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to A Sound Constitution on CHLY 101.7 FM, and today we are meeting our host for this season.
All right, this is McKenna, and today I'm here with Jay. How are you doing today, Jay?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And Jay is also a third-year nursing student at Vancouver Island University, and so we're going to ask a couple questions. So, what got you into nursing, Jay?
Well, I came into nursing straight out of high school. I had been working as a carpenter's assistant for my dad's forming company while I was in high school, but I knew that I wanted to go into a career that involved hands-on skills and kind of focused on that relational practice aspect, which I knew that nursing did because I really enjoyed working with people. And I thought that the career had enough flexibility that there'd be something that I would enjoy. And so I thought it would be a rewarding career to go for.
Absolutely. I think you're right with that. Okay. And with that, since coming into your program, what has been your favorite part of nursing school so far?
My favorite part of nursing school in terms of third year would be this semester, because this semester there was quite a big shift over. Up until third year, we focused on our lab skills and a lot of those hard skills and knowledge, and now we're sort of getting into the softer skills, and we're learning a lot about the nursing philosophy And I think that is a really valuable thing for us to be learning.
Yeah, I think there's often an emphasis on the empirical knowledge instead of, as you say, like the softer skills, the art side of nursing.
Yeah, and that critical thinking and the ability to think for yourself is going to be the most important thing we learn.
Yeah,
so
that critical thinking aspect. And Jay, do you have any fun facts about yourself that not many people would know?
I do have a fun fact about me. I always choke on Jolly Ranchers. I have been choking on Jolly Ranchers every time I've eaten them since I was a kid. And when I was 2.5, my mom had to flip me over and hit me on the back to get a Jolly Rancher dislodged. And it happened again when I was 17 and I was driving in my car and I had to throw myself against the steering wheel to get my Jolly Rancher out of my throat. So I should stop eating Jolly Ranchers while driving.
I would hope that you've learned your lesson after that one.
Yes, I have.
And Jay, what is your favorite thing to do in Nanaimo when you're not at school?
When I'm not in school, I really enjoy going for walks and hikes around Nanaimo. I like to go down and to the waterfront and look at the sailboats. I think that Nanaimo has a really, really, really beautiful view everywhere. So
you're not wrong with that one. Jay, if you weren't in nursing school, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I was working as a carpenter's assistant throughout high school in my summers. And I think that although I could have been a carpenter, I would have preferred something with a little more relational practice. And I was looking into elementary teaching as well as social work. And so I think I still would have ended up in a career similar.
Okay, kind of the same vibe, for lack of better words.
Yeah, it's got that relational aspect to it, and there's also some hard skills that go along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you graduate from nursing school, where do you see yourself?
So I'm pretty flexible. I think that I would like to be a case manager at some point, whether that's for mental health or children in the community, I'm not sure. I would also like to go and do some remote nursing on and off the island and all the surrounding islands and small communities. I'm hoping to work in an environment that's more community-based with a smaller team as opposed to a hospital environment.
Very interesting. We definitely need nurses like you.
Thank you, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on our show today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
No worries. And that was Jay, a third-year nursing student at Vancouver Island University, on why he got into nursing.
Employed student nurse. Have you heard of it before? Becoming an ESN is an optional learning opportunity that BSN students can take advantage of after successful completion of Nurse 275 alongside their respected university curriculum. Through an employment position, you were able to gain valuable learning experiences and practice your nursing skills in a safe hospital environment alongside your in-class content. This helps to continue to develop your confidence and nursing knowledge for future nursing employment. Provincial Employed Student Nurse, or ESN program, provides opportunities for registered nursing students to work as part of an interdisciplinary team and consolidate skills in an ESN position under the regulatory supervision of registered nurses. Employed student nurses, or ESN positions, are open to nursing students who are registered and have successfully completed 2 years of the BSN program. ESNs are BCNU members and hold casual positions delivering nursing care under the clinical guidance of registered nurses. Island Health decides each year when and where ESN positions will be available. ESN positions are year-round employment positions available in a variety of settings, with each ESN being allocated 275 hours per year to be used by March 31st of each year. For example, Island Health has a website for further information, and I'll be sure to include that resource in our show notes. They set aside 3 easy steps to begin the application process. Along with that application, registration with the BCCNM is mandatory for all students employed as an employed student nurse. What's the BCCNM? Well, the British Columbia College of Nurses and Midwives is the BCCNM. As a health regulator, their legal obligation is to protect the public through the regulation of 5 distinct professions. Those professions being licensed practical nurses, nurse practitioners, registered nurses,
registered psychiatric nurses, and midwife. Regulation allows BCCNM to set standards for nurses and midwives. These standards ensure the public receives safe, competent, and ethical care. They exist to ensure unshakable confidence in nursing and midwifery care. They nurture confident practitioners armed with a clear understanding of their scope and standards. They honor the trust that the public puts in our hands and aspire to create unwavering confidence in their every interaction with nurses and midwives. A step-by-step process is provided by the BCCNM website that will also be included in our show notes. So go ahead and take a look at those, but now let's get back to the show.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to be interviewing Herman, a fourth-year nursing student at VIU. Hi Herman, how are you?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So today we're just going to be asking you some questions about nursing. We recently just heard that you were announced the historian of the 2023 VIU nursing class. Congratulations, we'd love to hear more about your role as the historian.
Well, I appreciate that. My role, from my understanding, is that I'm meant to provide a speech that's meant to be lighthearted, covering how we felt and our experiences over the last 4 years. It feels nice that my peers voted for this position for me, and I appreciate the recognition. It's nice to get an opportunity to speak in front of my peers on a special day, and for whatever reason, they believe I can provide a funny speech. So we'll see how it goes in June.
Well, I'm sure you will do a funny speech, so congratulations again.
What brought you into nursing?
So I'd say there was multiple factors that made me choose nursing, and then over the last 4 years has maintained that. And I feel like I gained more along the way. Initially, I felt it aligned with my core values, which it still does. And also, growing up, I had some close family members who were sicker in the hospital, and I just saw the work that nurses did, and I found it to be quite impactful, quite meaningful. So that definitely drew me towards nursing after high school.
Did you always know you were going to be a nurse, or after high school?
No, I know some people are like that. I did not know. I was quite open-minded to it, and but I'm glad I chose it.
Me too. I didn't think I was going to be a nurse. Okay, so what is your favorite part about fourth year?
I'd probably say my favorite part of fourth year was our first semester. It was nice getting a chance to be in the classroom setting with my peers again one last time. Just all the bonds and all the friendships we've all created over the last 4 years. It was nice, and almost in a little bit more of a balanced schedule too. It was great just to be around people again, and for one last time before we got into our preceptorships.
And we were going to ask more about that. So which preceptorship are you in right now?
Yeah, so a preceptorship is basically where you do after third year and fourth year at VIU. You work alongside a nurse, and they kind of mentor you in a way, and you learn quite a bit. You're taking on quite a bit. Currently, I'm at Energy H on floor 1, which is more of a cardiac focused unit, which has been quite interesting and a shift for me, as I primarily have been doing surgical placements before this one. So, and with the whole telemetry things and whatnot, it's good learning for sure.
Oh, that's so cool. I did hear a lot of good things about the first floor, so that must be a lot of learning.
Okay, my last question for you is, what are your plans post-graduation?
So my plans as of now are to probably stay at Energy H and to consolidate my practice and further build my confidence. I've had a really good experience at Energy H so far. The staff and the culture on the units that I've worked on have been very welcoming and have drawn me towards choosing that area, choosing these areas post-grad. Someday I hope to specialize maybe in some higher acuity area and possibly pursue more education. But for now, I am pretty intent on staying at Energy H and continuing the early parts of my nursing career.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I love how open you are to all the options that nursing gives us. Well, I wish you the best of luck with all your future plans. They all sound very exciting, and I'm sure you'll do great with all of them.
Do you have any questions for me, I guess?
Yeah, I would ask, what are you most excited for this placement you're in?
The radio show, I think I'm excited for the health promotion part. Excited for researching about what I can teach my community.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to hear all the episodes over the year. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure you're going to cover some great topics.
Thank you so much, Herman. Thank you again for sitting down with ASC, sharing about your nursing school experience.
I appreciate that. Thank you as well.
We'd like to just give a big thank you to all our VIU nursing students that we interviewed in this segment. It was great learning and listening to all their experiences with nursing school and their future plans.
Well, that sound means you've reached the end of another episode of A Sound Constitution. Thank you everyone for tuning in today with your hosts, Lauren, McKenna, Karis, and Kiana. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the conversation, access our show notes, and be in the know for our next episodes. As always, our friendly reminder to our listeners that the information presented in this show is for educational purposes only and does not replace the advice of your primary healthcare professional. If you have any questions or concerns about what's being discussed, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook at A Sound Constitution, Instagram at CHLY A Sound Constitution, all one word, or email us at asoundconstitution@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Until then.